Okay, welcome everybody again. We are here for another session of developing Pixel Painter Challenge. Um, I have already done a bit. Well, done a bit. I've been looking into certain things, and as I said last time, it was either developing a system where I can read data from file, which would be helpful, so you can have actually your level information on file, and then you can just read it, and then depending on which file you're reading, you are loading different games. Or another option was these buttons, which are currently hard coded, that those actually get removed. Well, removed, not so much removed, but they get done programmatically. So I have decided that I'm gonna try the second one, and that's what I've always been. That's what I'm trying to do here. I don't think this will work because I don't think you'll be able to find the canvas because it's in the level manager script, and it probably should be in the canvas script. I can really try it. I also don't think this is the proper way to do it. It's like a very, very easy default way, especially here because of the source image, which I think is going to be problematic because it's round, and that's what I definitely want. So I think this is probably not the way I want to do it. I'm just going to quickly check to see whether this actually works, but then I have to engine. Was it UI? Let me double check. Yes, Unity Engine UI. Okay, because currently it's compile errors. So let's see. Normally, this script should now create a button like in the top corner of the canvas. And I'm not sure if the canvas is a whole screen. I kind of forgot. Yes, okay, so this makes sense. So that's why it's saying here null because I can't find the canvas. And then it gives an exception because I tried to access it here. Well, 45, 45. It is indeed complaining about this one, which is weird because you would think this just gives a null pointer exception. But apparently doesn't. Interesting. But so just for curiosity's sake, I'm probably not gonna use this because as I said, it's probably gonna be too much work to do that everywhere, although maybe not, I don't know. Is just see how it looks like if I add a script. New script. Canvas setup CS. Okay, and then we go look here, and then it should be somewhere here. Canvas settings. And then should we do it at start? If you can do it at start, maybe that's indeed better to do it at start. Let's just see. Yes, of course, I have to. Either I've manually always changed these imports. I must have always manually changed the imports. Or maybe it's automatically does it. No. I'm messing a bit with my keyboard bindings, so I am currently not sure. Okay, that's the import. That's the normally how I would set up my VS Code is that I actually take the Windows keyboard bindings and put them on a VS Code, and the reason for that being, well, because I've been developing most of my time on Windows, so VS Code, I know the Windows keyboard bindings, and then if I then would work on Linux or on Mac or whatever, it's just handy to always use the exact same keyboard bindings. The problem, of course, now is that since I will no longer be developing on Windows and Linux will be my daily driver, it feels a bit odd, maybe a bit ridiculous, that I would be or I would keep using the Windows keyboard bindings and always have to install an extension to make it work on my main machine. So that's why now I'm trying to use the Linux keyboard bindings, but it can take some time for me to actually get used to it. Okay, as you can see, so it can now render the button, but of course the button looks ridiculous. I mean, that's not what I want. This is what they said in the description of what it was, that this is literally like this indeed. You just create a default button, it comes with a text. That's not what we want. So we are going to try to create a prefab of like this button, but then with white. The question is, how do you create a prefab? And so the idea is that you create a prefab of the button and then it's exactly the same. And then hopefully, well, I assume programmatically, I can create a prefab or an instance of the prefab. We change the color and we are done. Okay, to create a prefab asset, drag a game object from the hierarchy window into the project window. This is a hierarchy. Where is the project? Here is a project. So I can just take this button. Should I do? I don't have all prefabs. Here you have them. Grid, open sprites. I'm just thinking, where should I put them? In the resources? I assume so. So if I drag them here, ta-da, there you have your button. And so this now becomes a prefab instance. Interesting. Of course, I'm going to rename this. Rename. Normally, this should be in any decent, yes, in any decent program, it's like F2, and that works on Linux, that works on Windows, that works everywhere except on Mac. It's really driving me crazy that there is no easy way to rename something on Mac, but that probably must be me personally. So this is not just a button, this is a paint. It's not even a button really. I'm gonna call it a okay, paint. How you call it? A paint. I'm just gonna call this paint and not. It's interesting how this remains. The name here remains button one. Okay, so now prefabs of UIMs are instantiated as normal using the instantiate method. Okay, instantiate pref. I'm not so sure like how that is done, but okay, so one of the things they're saying is like, well, you can assign it in your script as a parameter. Yes. And data. But I mean, like, you have this one. So this is how it would be. Instantiate. Yeah, my prefab is in the name of the prefab. Position. This is It's annoying that I don't have any extra information. Okay. But I'm not gonna assign it with the scripts. I'm just gonna do this. I mean, it's in the exact same position, so it should be able to find it. So I can say here. That's file. So this should be Prefab asset. Will it know it's a button? I hope it would know it's a button. Button paint, and that's not tile. That's button paint. Okay, and then I'm gonna, for sanity's sake, log it so I can see. I'm gonna turn this off, and we are gonna try again. And this will also create 0, 0, 0. That could also just be straight in the middle of the canvas, because that's how Unity seems to like things. I think last, okay, that didn't do anything. I think last episode I also kinda discussed the option with saying like, okay, now currently 0, 0, 0 is probably here somewhere, but maybe we can also just shift everything so 0, 0, 0 becomes literally here, both on the grid and maybe on the entire screen. But especially for the grid, it would make sense, or it would be helpful to count and calculate things instead of having your center here. No provider was configured for use. Is this also talking about, what's this actually talking about? What's no provider? Which provider? What provider are you trying to use? Where is this coming from? Load scene. This one I might have, I have no idea what this one is. No. Awake from loads. Trying to see if I can find something that actually is my code and not just Unity stuff. I don't see anything. I mean, like, this is way too much in C#. So this seems, I don't know, this is something else I will have to investigate later. This is interesting. I don't know what this is. Unity engine.ui.button get stack trace. Why is there a stack trace coming from this one here? I don't know. I also don't know why my button is not showing up. I definitely have it. I have a paint.clone. Where is it? If I move it, with Hive. Okay, the color I should also fix probably. Because it's different. This is minus 135 minus 200. So I do minus 100. Why is it also? Aha, it's not instantiated inside the canvas. Okay, I see the problem. Instantiates. Instance sheet, it should be, yeah, that's okay. That's a manual. I don't need the manual. I need the, yes, the scripting API. Instance sheet object dot instantiate, yes. Original transform parents. Aha. Okay, so you have multiple constructors or method calls, overload constructors. So this is the original object. This is a prefab. That's fine. That's perfect. Then you have this one where you have 3, and then in this case, this is the position, which is okay. 0, 0, 0. That's right in the middle. I can always adjust that and change that, no problem. This is indeed the rotation, which doesn't matter. And then if you add a 4th one, that becomes the parent. So that actually would be canvas dot transform. It has to be a transform. I'm not sure why it has to be a transform, but okay, that's because I still don't know why my setup on Unity is so bad with C# and everything. It's really annoying. I should definitely look into it. It is bothering me. I can't work like this, but fine. Then you also have another one with 3 where the parent is a third one, and you have instantiate in world space, a boolean, not sure what that means, or why that will be false. You can read it in the documentation. You also have one with just 2, which is the original and the parent, which would work. There it is. Nice, nice, nice. It's working. See, so for the canvas, this actually is 0, 0, 0. So that, how can it be that this is 0, 0, 0? It's not 0, 0, 0. It probably is 0, 0, 0 for the point of view from the canvas. I think that's the thing. This is probably 0, 0, 0 for the canvas, and this is then, okay. This will make it difficult for me to figure out what the actual position is going to be of the button and everything. But okay. And it gives the object back, of course. Actually, let's paint prefab. I should name this one. And then here I have the button, paint button. And then I can do funky stuff as paint set color dot yellow, because we don't have yellow yet. And then I can also do that's it, I guess. And that's the only thing I would really have to do. Do they have scripts assigned? I think there was a script assigned to it, no? Otherwise, of course, it can't work. Yeah, they have a color picker assigned to it. Okay. Button does not contain a definite set color. Interesting. Where is button? Button has no set color. Let me see in the. Typically, you can see it here. This one is definitely called color, but it's also part of image. Another button. Okay, so this I have found. This is like called the color block, normal color, highlight color. But I actually want to have the image on the button. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. A clickable button. If I look up button, there are also 2 buttons, which is. I'm not so sure which one to take. This text. I'm not sure this is color. No, but there's the image. Does the previous one have image? I can't remember anymore whether I added the image. Aha, yes. I was gonna say I can't really remember anymore whether I've added the image myself or whether that was also part of it. Good. How come it doesn't have a get image? Maybe it doesn't have a get image because image is public. I don't know. That's annoying. Let's see. Properties, image. On render image. It literally just only has image, so maybe I can just do image, not set color. Because I assume that image would have. Images contain a definition for set color. Tint color, apparently. Also doesn't really seem to have a setter, which this whole system of public properties is weird if it actually works. What's this? Image, Okay, so apparently it does not work. And here it's also just called color. But in here, in the description, image actually has another image, which is a texture. But I'll assume it's this image, so that's not going to be, no, that's not correct. You have scale mode, that's, I'm not sure what scale mode is. Then you have tint color and you have UV. And tint color is definitely a color. I don't understand why it says it doesn't have it. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong version. Which version of Unity am I actually? 2022. How come there is no, what kind of documentation am I looking at? It's so outdated. 2022.3. Seems like they've moved, definitely they've moved the documentation because I was not looking at the correct one. 2022.3 I can't even find in this documentation either, so it will be 2022.2. This version is unsupported. Ah, okay. 2023. Oh no, there is one. Okay, good. Good. But even in here, image has tint color. Yeah, they also just do regular color, which is weird because that's not what I see in. Here, I only see. Ah, okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure why I do. So apparently it is just color. I don't know why the hell the documentation says tint color as properties. Ah, there it is, yellow. And if I click on it, does it work? Oh my god, it actually does work. This is so nice. Red, green. So now I just have to get the colors right. All the positions, I guess. Let's first get the okay, vector 3. In which direction are we working in? Oh my god, that's so funky. I assume it's X, Y, Z. I'm just gonna try something. I'm gonna do this at 10. I'll do this at 30. Z definitely should not matter because it's only a 2. So actually, I should have kept one of the two at 0 as well because I know the Z direction is not gonna matter because I'm only a 2D graphic. So 3D definitely does not matter, or the Z direction definitely does not matter. I know for a fact that it's not gonna make a change. Okay, so this has moved more to the right than it has moved to the top because I can see an edge here. Okay, so this is X as I thought, and this is Y. Okay, but I need to move a lot more. I guess I could try to figure it out, but not really. Reference pixels per 100. I've no idea what it means. This button also says like it's minus minus, which is not correct because this now also says it's at minus minus. I think the idea is that because this is 0, the canvas has already, or my entire level, wait, scene, I have to go to the scene. So this is not the actual 0, 0, 0 part of my, can I move? Actually, makes me wonder, why is this is 0, 0, 0. My canvas probably also has the 0 point here, but to show the canvas here, it actually has to, and normally it would be here, so it has to shift half over, and my canvas has a width and height of 512 and 506, which I'm not sure if this will be impacted by the screen size. We'll see. So it has to shift half over. So it means 253. So 253 is the middle. So then I guess I just have to imagine. But because this has shifted 253, you get with negative. But that's because it's the absolute coordinates. It's not absolute coordinates. Absolute coordinates are 0 and whatever. It is coordinates compared to this center of minus. So that's why you have to do minus. Okay, but we don't have to care about it because we only care about the apparently the full coordinates. So I can easily say that this is, I don't know which one. That's a good question. Which one is it gonna be? Well, clearly 30 was not enough. So I mean like 100, 100. This was 30, so that's going to be 60, 90. 100 might be getting close. I have to rerun it. Rerun it. 100 might be getting close. This I can remove. This I can remove because I know for a fact all of this is working. I don't need to do an update. Did I save it when I updated the values? Because it should definitely have been shift over more to here-ish. So as soon as I know that the Y height actually is the most important one, if I know the Y height, okay, that's too high. That's probably because my grid starts at 100, 100. So the circle is, how big is my button actually? It's a width and height of 50, so that's 25 in. It's kind of 25 in, so we'd have to drop, I would have to drop about 50. So I can do 50. And then you have to restart this because it only gets done at start. That's the annoying thing about doing things at start. They don't automatically update. I should also change my prefab to have the color white and not by default red. That's because I copied it from this one. Not that it matters, but just in case. Okay. I might have a bit higher, so I'm gonna go 60, 60, 60. 60, my X also is gonna be like 120. And then what you do is for int index equals 0. Index is smaller than 6. Why would it be 6? And I also do here, right, color array colors. Well, then I have to do this, and I can just say colors dot length. I hope that's gonna work on an array. I'm not 100% sure. And then I do this, and this is colors index. The only thing I have to do is I have to calculate int, which is int the x, and that is 120 plus index times, definitely not 40, because 40 would, then they would overlap. 50 would be right next to each other. That's also not good. So for now, I'm just gonna do like 100. In theory, actually, this has to be get start and end positions, distribute space evenly. And so normally now we should see a lot of buttons actually. One, two, actually too many buttons probably. I don't even think this will be able to render all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's all 6 buttons. Of course, they're also going to render all at the exact same spot, which is also not good. So they're going to get 100 pixels removed from each other, which means you have a button, you have the space of a button, you have another button, you have space for another button. So they're not have some gap between them, and the gap is equal to the size of the button. Yeah, that should be the case. But I think 6 might be too much. And of course, as I said, I should actually calculate. Yeah, okay. So this is the size of a button in between, size of a button in between, size of a button. Oh my god, the green is ugly. Anyway, so they should all work. But yeah, there's too many. 1, 2, 3. Even for 4, it's too many. But so I should figure out what actually this position is. And if you think about it, if this, assuming this is 0, not 0, 0, but where is my grid? Assuming my grid I don't see any. Okay, my position is 0, 0. Indeed. How can that be 0, 0? That's impossible. This was 0, 0. Does it? Ah, okay. Wait. Maybe, maybe. No, I don't see. Ah, yeah. Okay. No, okay. Yeah. My grid is indeed at 0, 0 because it's in the perfect center, and then you have the minus thingy. So if you take the size of the grid, which is definitely not 26, but it's a scale of 26. This is annoying. Ah, yes, the last time we figured out that actually the grid extends to everywhere, and it is indeed a scale. So I think the idea is that each of them is like 26 big. So if this is 0, 0, because it's equal amount. So 26 is be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 in both directions, I guess. Yes, 6. So then if you take a calculator, and saying that it's 26 times 6, that means that we should be at 156. Oh well, if this is the point, and this is minus 156 minus 156. Does that help me? No, because I should know from this point. Ah, but we figured out that the canvas, which is 506 and 506 wide, the height doesn't matter much. The height we figured out. Well, the height, it's okay enough. We can still adjust it, who cares? So the height, no, the width is 506. So the height from here is 253. 253 minus 156. So that's, can I open a second calculator? Oh yes, you gotta love Linux. Or Windows can do the same, but a Mac, I'm not sure if Mac would be able to do this. Maybe Mac would be able to do this. Maybe I'm full of shit. 253 minus 156. So it's 97. So this is 97. So if you want to have the edge flush, then you need 97 plus 25, half button, which is 122. So I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna say here. Can I make static stuff? Not static, const. Private const int start x equals 122. Huh. I'm not sure if my calculation is correct, because I would think. Okay, no, yes, okay. Because 120, 120, I would actually think that it would be a bit less than 120. Can I zoom in for a second? But I cannot move. I cannot move. That's annoying. I cannot move. Interesting. How come? This is minus 135, which makes sense because you have 25, you have to still, yeah, add to it. So the edge would be at minus 110 and not, as was we calculated, 97. But 97 would be, the end should be end x 122, yes, times not 6 but 12. 12 times 26 then. Plus 12 times 26. That's my guess. And how much is that? 12 times 26. That's 312. So 312 plus, I think that's 434. That seems to be about right. It's also the. I could actually start. I could even say private const int width x equals 12 times 26, and then I could just do like this. And actually, I don't technically even need end x, so I could remove it. And here I say start x plus index times 1. So this actually doesn't even matter because it actually should be plus width x divided by colors length times index. That should look better, but I think something is still off, but we will see. I also think this is too many colors. This is definitely going to look bad now. There's going to be overlap, but at least we can see the beginning and the end. Also, damn, the width is not correct. Well, my width is correct, but my start x end x does not. How is this actually lining up so well? You think the buttons also, the buttons probably, okay, I think the problem is I thought the buttons would be counting from the center, which is not true. The buttons probably also just count from here, this point on. So my minus 25 doesn't, my plus 25 doesn't, so I should do 97, but that's weird because this definitely is not 25. The canvas width is 506. 506 divided by 2, because if this is the center points, then you have 253. Yes, 253. The 156, that comes from the 26 times 6, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have a center point. So this is 6, and I assume the scale 26 means that this is 26 wide. There is no other scaling. So it should just be 26. So 26 times 6 is 156. We know this 156. We know this is 253. 253 minus this equals this size, which is 97. So this is only 97. But if this is only 97, well, of course, here this is the, yeah, okay. So I'm going to change this to 97. I have the width, but if I put my first button here, then of course I don't want to have my, I don't want to have a button here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then I probably would have an equal space here. No? That I think might be correct because I account for it, and I should probably subtract 1 from this is not correct, so save it, try again. $97 would, it would be funky if it was aligned perfectly, but I don't think so. I think 97 is going to be too much to the left. So I don't understand where my math is failing me. See, look, maybe it actually is starting from the center. Maybe my math was correct. Maybe the button is actually not 25 wide. Nah, it's a bit of 50, so it should be 25 to the center. Okay, but let's just do 120. Also, another thing, of course, is I take the width of this, and I then say, well, just divide it, but that's not correct, because I should take, I have to get some paper and figure it out. I have to subtract 1, I think, and not 1, but as in like 1 width of, where are all my pens? Where are all my decent pens? So I think the idea is that you have the width, and if you want to draw, so you have this width, you want to draw, let's say not 6, but let's say 2 things. Where would you do it? Well, you would put one at the beginning, you would put one on the end. Would you? Or would you split them? Or would you have them evenly? That's the question as well. How do you want to evenly distribute them? I think to make most of them, for 2 buttons is going to look weird, but I don't think we will only have 2 colors, like a monochrome kind of thing. And if we ever do have that, then we could still add some special logic in there that we actually add some space before and after. But starting from 3 colors, like what I had with my previous setup, I had like 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here, and you have the space in between you want to do. So you definitely want to have 1 at the start, 1 at the end, and the rest of the space you basically divide. So that means you have, well, you have your start, which is 1, and then you do 2 and 3, and you always add a certain length x to it. But in the end, you know, if you have a button, then you add some, you have a button, and you have another button. But in the end, this space between, from this point to this point to this point, is x. You only have that twice, even though you have 3 buttons, but you only have 2 jumps. So it's important to subtract 1 of your actual width, because you don't divide by color length, but you divide by color length minus 1. Then another caveat is, then you have this point, you have this point, and then you would end up with this point, which is not correct. Why? Because I mean, like, if we are indeed looking at center points, then our width is not from here to here, but it actually is from, well, somewhere here-ish, the center of our circle, to this minus 25, the center of our last circle. And this you have to divide, because you will draw a circle here, and a circle here. So my 25 is minus 50. This is probably not the way you really want to do it or hard code it, because it's a bit ugly. But so this would definitely be correcter. I think this is the width. You divide it by how many you have. The fact that end x is never used, I don't care about end x actually. If my button ever becomes smaller or larger, then I have to change this here as well. I think I could use a prefab to also get like the size of the prefab. But yeah, this of course you could just get a, well, no, you could, well, this you could actually get. This I could also easily get from my level manager to say like, well, give me actually my grid size X. That might actually not be a bad, idea. My start X, that's, I don't see how I'm ever gonna guess that. This just, I guess, needs to be known. And then there you have it, an almost perfectly. There still is something funky going on, and there is still some. I think this might be because of the Z situation. No, the depth. Is there depth on it? There's no depth on any of this, so that shouldn't be a problem. My camera is zoomed down, but zoomed out at 0, 0, so that shouldn't matter either. There is still something going on that prevents me from figuring it out. See, this is a position of 253 and 256. So, okay, yeah, it's at half, exactly at half. I should have. Oh my god, I should have figured that one out. Oh, that's so stupid. Maybe it's the edges. I don't know. Maybe they're the edges that actually are causing me to think they don't align very well. It definitely does seem as in like there's more space here than there is here as well. But again, that could just be me freaking out. Why is there space between my buttons? Oh my god, that might explain everything. I am calculating everything, assuming that my buttons go from edge to edge, but they don't. So in that sense, yes, 122 was probably definitely correct, and that's why now we are seeing this this weird thing, because I've actually shifted over like 2 pixels. So I'm pretty sure if I change it back to 122, which was my calculated value, we're gonna see a much cleaner. Let's see, is this the last one? This is still not clean. The other one, this is also still not clean. Did it really re-render? Maybe not. Maybe just recompiled and I didn't do the re-render. Okay, scene. This button is, I still don't think it really aligns well, unless of course that my whole grid and tile map actually also has this weird situation. But no, this aligns perfectly. I must say my button actually also almost aligns perfectly. But the other one probably doesn't. See, here you still have too much. Is that also not? Wait. I subtracted. Wait. I subtracted 50 of it, but I was expecting. How come my center is not here? I didn't add it to my start. I said my start is 122. Maybe I don't have to subtract 50, just 25. If my button, why would I only have to subtract 25? If my button really starts here, then my last button, if I calculate it with my width, 12 times 26, then my last button would be outside of it, because I would say, well, this is, I'm gonna, you know what, I'm also gonna remove some color, so I think it's gonna be more visible. What I'm definitely gonna do is I'm gonna definitely delete these 3 buttons. I'm gonna go to my prefab. I'm gonna get my paint, and I'm gonna change this to white before I forget. Okay, that can be saved. Doesn't have to be saved, but okay, fine. And then I'm gonna do red, green, and blue. 3 colors. And then I think we will see much more clearly what actually is going on. And it's a funky business again. Who would have known that there would be so much math involved in actually developing like a simple game like this? That is interesting. So, okay, we clearly see this button now ends up center-ish wise. It definitely is the center of this button that lines here. So my minus 50 was actually correct. But I'm already going to put back. The question then is, how come the first button doesn't align properly? And how come the minus 50 also didn't? Unless, of course, it does align properly, but you just can't see it. And that the edge makes it look like it doesn't align properly. Because this also doesn't align properly. Colors.length is 3 with x divided by 3. Let me think about it. So now what am I saying? I am saying that the 0 point is at the beginning of, so the bottom left corner. This is 0, 0, 0. The fact that there is a gap is a bit annoying, but that's fine. So 0, 0, 0. This is 0, 0. You can actually see the image size is only 40 by 40. That's why. The button is 50 by 50, but my image size is 40 by 40. I guess theoretically I could I shift this to 40 by 40. That did not work. The image has scaled as well. Set native size. Ola. No, that's what I'm gonna do. 15 by 15. I think the problem is this, the image itself already has some margins. Okay, that doesn't matter too much. Doesn't matter too much. So, but back to the mathematics. So this is the 0, 0 point. So if you take your width and you say 0, 0, then I say 50, 50, or I say 0, 50, 100, for instance. Well, then then of course I don't have 100 to divide. Then I have, if I say this is 0, this is 100, then normally, well, not 100, let's say 120, easier, divisible by 3. So 120, normally you say, well, 120 divided by 3 equals 40. So you would have 0, 40, 80, which is not correct. That's what we already decided. We already said like, well, you don't have to do divide by 3, you have to divide by 2 because you only have 2 spaces between your objects. 120 divided by 2 is 60. So you would have 0, 60, dead center, and 120. That's problematic because your button will actually be outside of it. So that's why you don't have to do 120. You have to minus the size of your button. Let's say our buttons are 10. So you have 110, that's what you divide by 2, and that's 55. So your buttons will be at 0, 55, and 10. So 0, 55, 110. So that means that your buttons will be at 0 to 10, 55 to 65, and 110 to 120. So your last button aligns perfectly on the right edge, your first button aligns perfectly on the left edge, and the center of your middle button is 60, which is perfectly in the middle. So that is where the mathematics come from, and that's where the 50 should be correct, because our buttons are 50 wide. And I do 120, this is our 120, this is the width of our axis line, minus 50, and that's 55. The start come into play. That's because we have a offset, a shift, because we don't start at 0, but we start at this edge. This should be a perfect match. This should just work. I don't understand why it didn't work with the other. I don't understand why it didn't work with the multiple colors, or it seems to be off with more colors. Because this should just work. It could of course be that there is something wrong in my logic or in my calculation, and that it's not really 120, but it's a bit more. Maybe it could be that the cell size is not really 26, but it's a bit more. This seems pretty good to me, actually. This seems pretty good to me. This seems almost perfect to me. What if we add a few more colors? So I do color dot yellow. So this is one extra color. Go back to game. And as I said, the 12 times 26, 26 is the width that I can do, but this I can definitely get from the level manager. Level manager, that's yeah, okay, no, it's not a constant because it also can get a red. Can it get red? Yes, maybe it can get red. So then we would have to move this. That's okay. I can do that to say let's start. No problem. I can, for instance, say here. I can say final int width equals level manager dot instance grid size x times 2 because negative and positive times 26 minus 50, and then I use width here instead of this width. And then the only thing that's now still hard coded, well, this of course is also hard coded. This is hard coded. This of course I could get from my paint prefab dot width, I guess. Maybe I should say grid width. And then here I say final int width. Grid width. Okay. This might work. And actually thinking of it, my canvas, no, I can't do the canvas because I don't. Well, it's actually I think I can do it because my grid also is at my. I'm missing something. Where? Canvas setup 1615. There is a. They should be there. Why is it not working? Expected, comma expected. Where? Yeah. Why? What? Well, that's so stupid. If I click on it, it just opens a new instance of Visual Studio Code. There are. They should be everywhere. Column 15. I'm not even sure that really is column 15, and I can't see columns. How come I can't see columns in Visual Studio Code? I don't understand. Not comma expected, but I'm pretty sure. Level manager grid size x. They should be fine. X times 2. My square bracket is closed. Times 26. This is closed. No, what do you mean final? Oh my god. See, those are the cryptic errors you can get with, well, C++, I know for sure, but apparently C# as well. Oh, we expect dot comma. I'm like, no, there was no dot comma. It was an invalid keyword. You just don't know what in the expression being assigned to the button color of yellow. How can colors? It's not colors. It's color. That's what it fixed. This of course can't be a const, which is really stupid. I mean, like, yeah. The thing is, an int can't be reassigned, so it actually doesn't matter. And then this can also remove, still matter. Okay, so how far are we now? Definitely, okay, button does not come definition for width to be expected. Button, button. How come button doesn't have width? A button definitely has a width because damn, I can't see it anymore. Oh, I removed my buttons. Button, button. I think you have to transform. Button dot transform dot width. Is that not? No, no, that doesn't seem to be right. It probably it's like I know it's like in some other game object maybe. Maybe I have to go through the game object. Game object. Hmm. Inherits from object. Object also doesn't have width. How do I get Unity gets a width of button? I should not have deleted it because now I don't know. Of course, I can always just do new UI button. TextMesh Pro? I assume so. Zoom out a bit. There's my button. So where is my width located? The rect transform. So maybe this transform. Transform does not contain a definition for width. Position, rotation. Position is a vector 3. Oh my god, this doesn't seem to be. GUI layout dot width. No, that's not how to get it from it. Dot rect. Does it have a rect? It might have, it might not have. And all of this, no, doesn't have rect. All of this, maybe that's rect transform. And all of this just because I don't want to have the 50 hard-coded. Yeah. Which of course I don't want to have it. Don't want to have it hard-coded. But it seems like it's there are easier ways. This is not useful. Link to a video on YouTube. Yeah, okay. Good luck. And this is also very, very old. 10 years ago. What the hell? They definitely also just do transform dot width, but maybe not on a prefab. They do it after the instantiate. The problem is I don't want to instantiate an instance first to figure out like how wide it is. And even here it says transform does not have a width. Oh wait, it's transform.rect. Transform does not have rect. Okay, let's see. What does transform have? Is this transform? This is transform. Transform has parent, position, right, root, up, rotation. Transform has transform? What? How can transform has transform? Am I looking at the wrong transform? Nah, that's exactly... A transform object has transform object. It's so weird. Transform point, transform direction, transform vector, translate, rotate, rotate around. It has rotation, it has up, it has a position, but the position doesn't help. It has a parent, forward, child counter alert has changed. Local position, local rotation, local scale. The scale might work. Maybe I should print it as well. Let's float to an int local scale. Okay, maybe not local scale. Is it? The only scale I can see is you have local scale and you have lossy scale. Local scale is a vector 3. A lossy scale is also a vector 3. I just want to see what it actually prints and whether it is the value I need. If this is 50, well, 50.0, I guess then it's okay. If it doesn't say 50, then I know it says 1. That's because my button has a scale of 1. I need the width and the height. What else do I have? Like that might be for position, or it has text. Text not useful. Layout. It has layout. It also has local bound. Those sound already much more interesting. Layout is a rect, and the rect has a width. So okay, go for layout, rect. Can I just print this? Just in case, I will also print the real box width. And then what was the other thing I saw? That was the local bounds. Local bounds also a rect. Okay, let's try again. Okay, button does not contain a definition for layout local bounds. That's interesting because according to your API, it does. Jesus Christ. I definitely need a layout. How do I get the layout? Maybe it's the wrong button. Of course, it wouldn't help if you would have really two button objects. Constructs a button. That's exactly the same. It's UI elements button. Maybe. What is paint prefab actually? This is so confusing. So it is a Unity Engine UI.button. I think indeed, yes, that means I am indeed looking at the wrong package. Unity Engine UI? There is no Unity Engine UI. Excuse me? What the hell is this? Unity Engine UI? I don't even see a Unity Engine UI. I only see UI elements, not UI. Hmm. Okay, it's so weird. What version of Unity am I running? 2022.3. In version 2018, I see Unity Engine.ui. 2019, I see Unity Engine UI. But if I go to the one from 2022.3, there is no Unity Engine UI anymore. Is the documentation wrong or am I wrong? Did they remove it? How could I have Unity 2022.3.25 F1. So how come this doesn't make any sense? I have no understanding of what is going on here. This documentation is weird. Okay, I'm just looking at older documentation. Nope, in the... How is that possible? Unity Engine... Unity Engine UI is gone from documentation. Let's see what they say. You move into... Oh my god, they are... Oh my god, that's so stupid. So I found a link to another documentation, like another scripting, but this is 3D. Fine, I will just take it. I don't care. But this, oh my god, this documentation is bad. Properties, it doesn't have properties. Is that because it's a selectable? Then I have to move up. Oh my god, this is unusable. What happened to it? Where can I find it? Can I see it in here somewhere? The annoying thing is that I can't probably find it here because it's not, for some reason it doesn't link me to the actual code and it doesn't work. That's annoying. Really annoying. Okay, well, for now, honestly, I don't care too much about it. But this is definitely something that normally I wouldn't do. And I would have it calculated. I would have as much as I can calculate. I mean, like even this, I will put it to do. this should now perfectly work. Okay, this button has to go away. And then we are done, so we can now generate our buttons. And hopefully the colors work. Red. Yes, yes, yes. Red works. Yellow. Blue. Green. So I mean, like, it definitely works. That's a good thing. I've painted a bit much of yellow. Well, over all of my yellow. And then if I would paint this. Ta-da! Okay, so my buttons definitely work. I can get 3 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors. I can get as many colors. Well, I can't get as many colors as I want because they will overlap and they're gonna mess everything up. But the idea is there. The buttons work. I can make them programmatically. The colors, of course, I still need. Don't think my level manager actually has. Yes, indeed, my level manager doesn't have the colors yet. So it's something. Well, no, I have level colors. Ah, no, that's my level colors, not my paint colors. Okay, so actually this is my grid colors. I shouldn't call this level colors. I probably should rename this. So it's grid size, and then grid colors. Then you know these are the grid colors, and then you probably want to have like the level colors or the paint colors, and then you have not a grid, but just like a simple list like this. I could actually already try to do that. No. Let's save that for the next session. Session is going on for a bit long already. Let's just end it here. Okay, so I thank you for joining me, and next time we will clean stuff up a bit. We'll centralize our paint colors in the level manager, so the canvas editor can use that, and who knows what else. Okay, thank you. Bye.